Welcome to Saturdays with Sir Rolland, your weekly training guild on how to slay the dragons of vice with the weapons of virtue. Here's your guild master, the author of the 7 Deadly Dragons book series, and faithful knight to the one true light, Sir Rolland Paterlot.
Greetings, young squires, maidens, moms, and dads. Today is the second day in the month of May in the year of our Lord 2026, and it's a great day to learn the art of dragon slaying. I know, I usually don't say the name of the month. Normally I would say the second day in the 5th month, but I couldn't resist the rhyme of May and day. And that sound, young squires, means it's not just another day in May, it's a feast day of St. Athanasius. Sorry, that rhyme was okay, but not the greatest. Okay, I'm done with the puns. There's no time for rhyme because I want to discuss a favorite saint of mine. St. Athanasius, a great doctor of the church. Just a side note before we begin, my 4 older kids really wanted us to name Lady Lumina Athanasius. His feast day popped up right before Lady Lumina was born on May 4th, which of course was Star Wars Day. They did everything they could to convince us to name her that, but it would never have worked for several reasons. Number 1, I can't spell it. Number 2, she turned out to be a girl. And number 3, even if she was a boy, we had already picked out a boy name, which was Luke, which I promise had nothing to do with Star Wars because I had never even seen Star Wars until Topher made me watch it last year. But Athanasius would not be a bad saint to name your future children after because he was a great doctor of the church, a slayer of dragons and heresy, and a wise leader in the 4th century. He fought tirelessly against the Arian heresy who claimed Jesus wasn't really divine. He was often exiled or banished, but that didn't stop him from trying his best, proclaiming the truth, leading the people as Bishop of Alexandria, and always trusting in God's providential grace to allow good to win in the end. He was also a writer, and he wrote a famous work, the biography Life of St. Anthony, which popularized the monastic movement in the Western Church. It was from that monastic movement that the formalized teaching of the 7 deadly sins came to be. Here's an awesome quote from that book, which can teach us a lot about slaying the 7 deadly dragons. He said, "Let's continue to be strenuous in pursuing virtue. Let's not grow tired of seeking it, for our Lord has become a guide for us and for every person who has a desire for the virtues. And so that it might not become tedious for us, St. Paul became our example when he said, 'I die daily.' If we were to keep the imminence of death in our mind, we would never be overcome by sin. Lust, which is fleeting, would not reign over us. We would never harbor anger against another human being. We would not love the possessions which pass away, and we would forgive every person who offended us. Therefore, beloved, let's be zealous in carrying out the work we have committed ourselves to, and let's travel to the end on the road which we have begun our journey." Can you spot any of the 7 deadly sins in the words of St. Athanasius? Well, I see them all. Though his life was hard, St. Athanasius stayed on the path. He fought the good fight and finished the race with nothing left to give. He had a great attitude and gave a great effort, and that is a formula that makes saints, dragon slayers. So in honor of St. Athanasius, we're going to do a Dragons Around the House episode today. This episode is about attitude and effort. Here is the situation. It's Friday afternoon in May. The sun is shining and the weather is getting nice. You're excited for a weekend full of trader tag and fishing and baseball and fun in the sun. Your last class of the day is math, and right before the bell rings, the teacher writes your homework assignment on the board, and your heart sinks. You hate math. It's really confusing, and the last thing you want to do on your weekend is work on math homework. How do you go about completing the assignment? Here's your options. Option A, sponsored by the Red Dragon of Pride. Immediately fall to your knees in the hallway in an attitude of defeat and self-pity. This is the worst day of my life. I hate math. My weekend is ruined. What if I get a bad grade? What if this assignment causes me to fail the class? What if I get held back? I'll be in 4th grade when I'm 25. I'll never get a job. I'm a failure. Option B, sponsored by the Orange Dragon of Envy. You start complaining about how you are the only one in the class who can't do math, how it's not fair, how you wish you were smart like your friend Ines Stein, and how your parents should have given you better genes. Option C, sponsored by the Yellow Dragon of Sloth and the Indigo Dragon of Gluttony. You go home and you do one problem. Decide that's enough for the weekend, and you reward yourself with 5 donuts. You stuff the paper into the deepest, darkest corner of your backpack, right next to the last month's crumpled permission slip and a granola bar from 2023, and you hope it's never seen again by you or anyone else. Option D, sponsored by the Green Dragon of Greed and the Yellow Dragon of Sloth. You steal the answers from a friend named Sir Google-Lot the Wise, convincing yourself that technically the homework is complete, even though your brain did absolutely zero training. Or maybe you just come up with an excuse or a lie, like, my turtle ate my homework, so you can spend all your time doing what you want to do. Option F, sponsored by the Blue Dragon of Wrath. You declare war on math itself and everyone who has anything to do with it. Math is dumb. Numbers are dumb. Whoever invented math is dumb. My teacher is mean. I'm never going to use this stuff anyway. You then spend more time complaining about the assignment than it would have taken to actually finish it. Squires, all of the options so far are the work of dragons. Your attitude and your effort reeks with the stench of dragons. So now let's take a look at some options that dragon slayers might choose. Option E, you give a solid effort. When you get stuck, you ask for help from a parent, sibling, or teacher. You finish the assignment honestly and do your best work, knowing that whatever grade you get is okay as long as you tried your best. This is a great start. Keep moving forward and having a great attitude and giving a good effort. Option F, you decide to get it done early so it doesn't hang over your head all weekend. You start with a good attitude. This is hard, but I can grow from this. You give your full effort, you ask for help when needed, and double-check your work before finishing. Great job, Dragon Slayer. You are well on your way to creating a habit of having a good attitude and giving a maximum effort in every task, whether it's fun or boring. And now let's look at option G, the stuff of legends. You begin with prayer. Lord, help me to give my best. You attack the assignment with focus and determination. You ask for help when needed. You offer up the struggle for someone else who is suffering. You finish with gratitude, yes, even for math. And then you go and you enjoy your weekend with a peaceful heart, knowing you gave everything you had. After finishing your homework with heroic effort and saintly attitude, you bring the same determination and grit into your weekend activities. You hit a walk-off home run. You catch 3 fish, win 5 rounds of trader tag, and still make it home in time to thank your parents for dinner. You see, you can't always control your situation or your circumstances, but you can control your attitude and your effort in every situation and circumstance. Dragon Slayers don't just give their best effort and have a positive attitude when they're playing their favorite game. They also have a positive attitude and give their best effort when they are doing chores and homework and things that are hard. God doesn't care what grade you get or what place you get. He cares what effort you give and what attitude you have. God sees your heart, and what God sees is all that matters. So my challenge this week is to think about your attitude and your effort and how they relate to our first and most important dragon slaying maxim. Will you try your best? That is your effort. And will you let God's grace do the rest? That is your attitude. And until next week, I'll leave under the protection of St. Michael the Great Archangel, St. Joseph the Terror of Dragons, and Mary, Queen of the Angels, Our Lady of Grace, and the woman whose seed crushed the head of the dragon.
Hey everybody, Sir Topher here. So I remember going through school, and I'll be honest, I wasn't perfect with my attitude or effort. It's not easy, and I got wounded by these dragons too. But here's the thing, I'm 24 years old, and I'm still in the same battle as you are, young squires. Right now, I'm working on our Dragon Slayers Vacation Bible School for the ministry. And can I be honest with everyone right now? It has not been easy. I've gotten frustrated, annoyed, and I've complained more times than I'd like to admit. It feels like every day something isn't going right or not the way that I thought it would go. But I want it to be good. I want it to be the best it can be so that the parishes who use it have something strong, something meaningful. Because the goal with this VBS program is to bear fruit for families, to inspire kids to slay dragons with great virtue. So yeah, I feel the weight of that. In other words, I feel the pressure to get a good grade. I'm in the same battle as you, young squires. And I have a choice. I can listen to the dragons and let them control my attitude and effort, which leads nowhere, or I can try my best and entrust it all to God, knowing that God is in control and not worried. I remember a coach at a basketball camp in high school once told the team, "How you do anything is how you do everything." If I give a bad effort in school, that carries onto the court and into everything else. But if I give my best in the small things, it builds into the big things. So stay on the path, steady hearts. Stay on the path of the way, the truth, and the life. Strive for greatness by striving for Jesus. Your resource of the week is our new song called Steady Heart. It's the intro and outro song from the series I've been doing on movies and stories, and many parents have wondered if that would ever be available at some point, and so now it is on dragonslayers.tv. And until next week, stay holy and slay dragons!
Walking through the silence and shadows stretching across the land. Whispers riding desert wind, calling out the fight within.